Welcome to Celestial Zodiac. This is your daily horoscope for Monday, April 13th, 2026. Today marks the beginning of a shift from internal clarity into external pressure, as the sun in Aries continues to push for action while the moon helps ground the emotional tone. There's a growing awareness of what needs to happen next, but not everything is ready to move just yet. You may feel tension between wanting to act quickly and needing to make sure your foundation is solid. Mercury's influence supports clearer thinking, helping you sort through what truly matters. Today is about recognizing what's calling you forward without rushing the process. Aries, you're feeling the push to act today, but there's also a need to slow down just enough to make sure your next step is aligned. Something that recently became clear to you is now demanding your attention, and it may feel difficult to ignore. Early in the day, impatience can build, especially if you want immediate results. However, not everything is fully set in place yet, and forcing it could lead to unnecessary setbacks. Emotionally, you may feel both excited and pressured at the same time. Focus on taking one intentional step rather than trying to do everything at once. Taurus, today brings a quieter but important internal process that you can't rush. You may find yourself reflecting on something that hasn't fully resolved, especially on an emotional level. Early in the day, there's a need to pull back and create space, even if others don't fully understand it. This is not avoidance, it's necessary processing. You're becoming more aware of what needs to be released or restructured. Emotionally, this may feel subtle but significant. Allow clarity to come naturally instead of forcing answers. Gemini, there's a sense of mental pressure today as you try to balance multiple ideas, goals, or commitments. Early in the day, you may feel pulled in different directions, unsure of where to focus your energy. However, this tension is helping you recognize what actually matters. Conversations or interactions may highlight where your time is being stretched too thin. Emotionally, you could feel slightly scattered but aware at the same time. Start narrowing your focus. This is where clarity begins. Cancer, you may feel a strong sense of responsibility today, especially around your career or long-term direction. There's pressure to step up or make a decision that can no longer be avoided. Early in the day, this may feel overwhelming or uncomfortable. However, this is also where your growth is happening. Emotionally, you may feel the weight of expectations, both from yourself and others. Focus on what aligns with your values, not just what's expected of you. Leo, there's a restless energy today that makes you want to expand or try something new. You may feel inspired, but also uncertain about where to direct that energy. Early in the day, ideas may come quickly, but not all of them are grounded in reality. This is where you're being asked to pause and evaluate. Emotionally, you may feel excited but slightly frustrated if things don't move fast enough. Focus on what has real potential rather than chasing every idea. Virgo, today brings deeper awareness around something that feels unresolved or uncertain. You may be thinking about shared responsibilities, emotional dynamics, or financial matters that need attention. Early in the day, there could be a sense that something isn't fully settled. However, this awareness is helping you move toward clarity. Emotionally, you may feel more introspective than usual. Take time to observe rather than react, as this will lead to better decisions. Libra, relationships are highlighted today, especially where something feels out of balance. You may notice tension that can no longer be ignored or smoothed over. Early in the day, there could be a tendency to avoid addressing it directly. However, avoidance won't bring resolution. Emotionally, you may feel torn between keeping the peace and being honest. The key today is recognizing what needs to be addressed. Scorpio, your daily routines and responsibilities come into focus today, especially where things feel inefficient. You may start noticing where your time or energy isn't being used effectively. Early in the day, This awareness could feel frustrating. However, it's also the first step toward making meaningful changes. Emotionally, you may feel motivated but slightly overwhelmed. Focus on identifying the issue rather than fixing everything at once. Sagittarius. There's a creative and expressive energy today, but it may feel scattered at first. You could have multiple ideas or interests competing for your attention. Early in the day, it may be difficult to commit to just one direction. However, this is helping you recognize what truly excites you. Emotionally, you may feel energized but slightly restless. Pay attention to what consistently draws your focus. Capricorn. Your attention turns toward your home or emotional foundation today. There may be something that needs to be addressed that you've been putting off. Early in the day, you might feel the weight of responsibility in your personal life. However, this is also an opportunity to create stability. Emotionally, you may feel more sensitive than usual, even if you don't show it outwardly. Focus on what will support you long-term. Aquarius. Your mind is active today, and there may be a lot of information or conversations to process. Early in the day, it could feel overwhelming or difficult to organize your thoughts. However, this is part of the process of gaining clarity. You're starting to see what matters and what doesn't. Emotionally, you may feel slightly scattered but curious. Give yourself time to sort through everything. Pisces. Today brings attention to your values and sense of stability. You may feel uncertain about a decision, especially early in the day. However, this uncertainty is helping you recognize what truly matters. You're becoming more aware of what aligns with your long-term security. Emotionally, this may feel uncomfortable but necessary. Take your time and avoid rushing into decisions. Today is about awareness before action. You're starting to see what needs to happen next, but the energy is asking you to move with intention, not impulse. Clarity is building, and each step you take now sets the tone for the rest of the week. That's your daily cosmic commute forecast. Please like, subscribe, and share to stay connected to your Monday through Friday astrology here on Celestial Zodiac.